Well, the gentleman that I want to introduce now is a very good friend of mine. He's a researcher. He's a person that studies words. I met him some years ago, and ever since we've known each other, we've just been very good friends. Everybody just come on up, make yourself at home, sit next to somebody. But the young man is a researcher. When I read his book, and the name of his book is called The Spiritual Significance of a Thing. And when I read his book, I said, I got to invite friends to hear what he has to say. There are some innate abilities that we have not been taught. And if we don't recognize them, we can't act on them. And give you a little scenario. Once it was what was it? It was an eagle, and he was raised around some chickens. So when the eagle eggs hatched, they started acting like the chickens. But once he matured, there was some eagle behind the barn talking about eagle history. How the eagles had keen eyesight and they could soar. Had he not heard this information, he would have continued acting like chicken. So I invited you because I wanted you all to hear what he has to say. I read his book. I love it. I'm still reading it. I'm studying it. I read it already, but now I'm studying it. Give yourselves a hand. Yes, sir. We want to bring Brother Jeremiah to the front, and y'all give him a warm welcome. I had him. He was up in Orlando. I said, look, you got to come down. So this is Brother Jeremiah.
It's so good to see your faces in the place. You follow me on social media. Anybody? That's all going to change today. So make sure that you're following me on social media so you can keep up with the latest information. Now, again, welcome. Thank you, Amon. Amon is a true champion in Riviera Beach. He fights the good fight. So being on his side is a great side to be on. I must say that. And again, welcome. Where are my spiritual warriors? Do I have any spiritual warriors? Now, this is going to be an interactive. I got one spiritual warrior. Come on. I know I got some more up in here. Well, to my Christian family, blessings. To my Hebrew Israelite family, shalom aleichem. To my Jewish family, shalom. To my Buddhist family, Angelique. And if I have some Islamic family in here, shalom aleichem. If I have any spiritual or African spiritualists, brothers and sisters in here, hotel. And to everyone else, welcome. This is truly an event that I wanted to partake in. Amon brought it first, so I wanted to come and share with you all some of the information in this book. And I'm so happy to see each and every one of you. Give yourself a round of applause. Well, today I want to talk a little bit about my book. I want to just highlight some things. I want you to get a little information before going so deep into my book. And what I want to talk about truth versus an illusion. Spirituality versus carnality. Because see, that's our reality. See, we walk throughout life unconscious of who we are. And then we fade away. Think about it. When we get caught up in the material things of the world, it gives us a false illusion of who we are. For instance, if he wants to ask me who I am, I can easily say, my name is Jeremiah. I'm the senior tax analyst, paralegal, and IT professional for Scott & Associates accounting firm. I can go on to say that I'm the founder of Computers Unlimited International Inc. I can go on to say that I'm the co-founder of Scott Capital Finance. But is that truly who I am? That's an illusion of who I am. See, the world has given us an illusion of who we are. And we think that's who we are. We don't consider the innate spiritual existence. Who can't hear me? But the world gives us this false illusion of who we are, and we tend to accept it. And we'll allow that to be how we define our life. But we never come into the true essence of who we are. Because of that, we're unconscious to that. What the world has put in front of us as a purpose in life. Go work, we have to go out and work, pay bills. This become our reality of life. We don't see anything outside of that. But see, there's another side of us that we don't really dig into to find out truly who we are. Now, the word illusion, I want to share this with you. Illusion, what it means, is a false idea or conception, belief, or opinion not in accord with the facts. It goes on to say, an unreal, deceptive, or misleading appearance or image. Now, I say this here because last year I was given an award, and it came from the Marquis Who's Who. You see if I can pull it up. But the Marquis Who's Who, I don't know if anyone ever heard of that. But they recognize people that are doing great works in the field, in whatever their field is, right? Profession. And when it talks about who's you in America, there's a list of individuals that are in this directory. And they reached out to me to add me to this directory. Now, their theory and thought is I'm known in my profession, and I do it well. But I told them, because they wrote something up on me, I said, but that's not truly who I am. See, when I relate or connect to who I am, see, Jeremiah is a part of me. That's truly who I am. And there's a powerful meaning to that name that elevates me beyond any carnal or illusion that anyone may try to tag me with, if you will. When you think about the life process and what we go through every day in life, it brings about stress, it brings about heartaches and pain. We stress every day, whether you get up at 9 o'clock in the morning, I have to be at work at 10 o'clock. That's a stress factor because we have to make sure that we get to work on time. We have to make sure we get the children to school on time. There's certain things that we have to do that causes certain stress factors. See, the Buddha said that when you go through life, every human that goes through life, they suffer and don't even know that they suffer. We have become used to suffering. That's the illusion of deception that we have received and that we have attained in life. See, the most honorable y'all say you must overcome the world. See, overcome the world gives you peace and prosperity. It puts you on a path towards success, and it gives you that light that you need in order to become successful in gaining the knowledge of who you are. When I was in college, I did an essay on homelessness, and I had to do the essay based off the pros and cons of homelessness, right? And one of the things that I came up with is we often think about homelessness as a person, when they're homeless, they had no choice. But there's a part of homelessness that people choose to become because they want to avoid the obligations of the world. They want to avoid all the different stress factors of the world. I came to a point where I kind of envied that because I thought they came up with the science of truly becoming free, right? That's what we all want, right? We want to become free. We want to become free of all of this here. But see, you can be in your profession and still be free in your profession. The problem is that we don't know how to free ourselves. That has become the problem. And when you think about it, we have to begin to accept that we have been taught a lie, that we have received carnality, that we're living in illusion. We have to come to facts in this. Which brings me to my book, why I wrote my book. You never I'm going to say this, you never know who you are until you're conscious that you exist. I'll say that again, you never know who you are until you're conscious that you exist. See, to exist is to be. To be is to understand that you must be present at all times. See, when you truly become you, when you truly become connected to your innate spirit, you become conscious and aware of everything that's happening around you. Even when they try to cover you up with these illusions of who you are, you become conscious of that. And once you become conscious of that, you can live life better without all the stress, without all the pain, without all the heartaches. Then you're not suffering anymore. Your spiritual name, and I say spiritual name, I can say name, but I say your spiritual name is what centers you at the seat of consciousness. Your spiritual name is what centers you at the seat of consciousness. This is my philosophy. I have read many books that talks about spirituality and how to connect with your true self. And I love all the different philosophies from all the different authors that I have read books from. They have talked about many different things that centers you and who you are. My philosophy is, it's your name that gives you that centers you at the seat of consciousness. Why do I say that? Because your name is either being referred to or referred to every day. It's an awareness. And when you become aware of who you are, it's centered in your name. See, if somebody was to talk about me today, if they was to call me all type of, profane language, the first thing they're going to say is Jeremiah. See, Jeremiah means excellent. So they already giving me accolades. They don't even know it. But they called my name that touched my spirit. So anything that comes after that is a blur. You get what I'm saying? See, we have found ways to center ourselves and who we are, true conscious state of mind. I just believe it's in your vein. Think about it. If any of you even read the Holy Scriptures, in the Holy Scriptures, Abram's name was changed to what? Abraham. And when his name was changed to Abraham, what they did, they changed the meaning of his name, right? He was just a father, but now he became the father of all nations, right? The same thing with Jacob, becoming Israel, right? What does Israel mean? He who rules as God. There's power within that name. We just have to become conscious of who we are. And if we choose a powerful spiritual name, that seats us at the center of consciousness. Can't nobody shake us on it, right? And I do want to just kind of chime in on what we deal with every day as individuals. There's a human side of us, there's a being side of us. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the side, the being side, the spiritual side of us. The human side of us, we have mastered. We mastered that. But the other side of us is the side that's our true nature that we haven't mastered. But we don't even know it exists. We don't even know how to tap into it. And that's what I'm talking about today. So we have Bill, I had one author, I was reading his book, and he references how we have trapped ourselves in this house. My philosophy is we draw a circle around everything that we believe in. Every experience that we had in life goes in that circle with us. Everything that we believe in goes in that circle with us. If anyone try to penetrate that circle, automatically we're in defense mode. That's when our ego begins to act. There ain't something that we heard about before. What our ego say? Man, I don't know about that. It don't allow it. That's the ego. But that's you being trapped in that box, because truly we are all spiritually connected. Spiritually connected. White, black, purple, green. We're spiritually connected. That's why when I opened up, I said my family, my Christian family, all my family, you're all my family, because we're spiritually connected. We just have to come to the realization of it. But when it comes to releasing yourself from this house, like I was saying, the author, he painted a picture of a house. And he said, this is what happens. He said, what we do, our emotions, our past, our impressions, our recollections, everything that we experience in life. He said, what we do, we put this house with us. And we shut the doors and we seal the doors. We shut the windows and we seal the windows. We don't let nothing inside of there. Not even the outside light. So we create these artificial bulbs and lights, right? So now we're dealing with artificial stuff. But we live in that. And we protect our fears. That's our comfort zone. That's what's been shared with us all our life. That's who we are. That's the illusion of who you are. That's not who you are. See, when you open up those blinds, when you open that door, when you allow things to come in, people to come into your life and start to share certain things with you, that's when you truly open up to receive your true anointment of who you are. But as long as you stay enclosed in that house, or you create that circle for yourself that you don't let anything else come into, then you have created an illusion of who you are. My concept is grounding yourself in your name. Being present in your name at all times. And I'm not just talking about any old name, y'all. See, King Solomon said in Proverbs 22:1, he said, a good name is rather be chosen than great riches. Now, the common man would say, give me the great riches. I don't care anything about a good name. But see, it was sad for a reason, because King Solomon was one of the wisest men that ever walked the earth. Right? He knew something. So I'm telling you, that name is something that truly can give you the anointment that you need. But the other side of that is this. How do we become spiritual in that name? How many of you in here invest? Whether in the stock market, okay? And from that investment, you're looking to what? Profit, right? And even in the process of that, what you may do, you may do a little research, find out what company is, and go get this company or that company. Or sometimes you get some insight, put your money there. Maybe get something like that. See, that's a part of it. I know one can get some inside stuff. I have to go through the process of researching to find out what's the best company to invest in. But your spirituality is just like that. You must invest in your spirituality. And I know many of you may say, well, I go to church, I go to the synagogue, I go to the temple, I go to the mosque every week. But see, there are two types of people that go to the church, and the synagogues, and the mosques and all that, right? There's one that hears and one that receives. There's a difference to that. See, when you're hearing something, what they say, the percentage of a person that, or what they heard, what is about 17 to 25% of what's been said that a person remembers? Somewhere around there. See, when you're really taking to something, when you receive something, it becomes a part of you. In fact, I'm going to read this definition so you can kind of get the gist of what I'm saying when I'm talking about receive. Receive, to take into one's possessions. You got to take it into your possession. To take it to the mind, to apprehend mentally. So it's a part of that you have to take into your mind, but you have to take hold of it at the same time. See, the hear is to perceive by the ear. And like we just mentioned, we talk about 17 to 25% of the time, 17 to 25% of the information that you hear, you retain. We want to be able to possess that information. We want to be able to receive that information. That's what it's about. I don't want to keep all your time, because the reason you came here is to hear about this book and to hear from me about the book, to determine if you will buy this book today. What I'm sharing with you is something that you may not have heard before. And many of you may be spiritual, may read certain books, but you may not have heard this information before. this is truly some information that you can take with you today. Really get into the book. Like Brother Juan said, you have to study this book. It's one thing to read it, because it's a small book. Not that much to read, but you have to study it. And that's how I wrote this book, for you to study it. I want you to be able to truly get the information in this book and apply it to your life. Because I'm not gonna hold you that long, as far as my presentation about this here, I'm gonna leave you with this here. The one thing we have in common is we are all spiritual beings. That's the one thing we have in common. That's the one thing that connects us to one another. Whether you believe that or not, we need to reconnect back to our spiritual self. That's your spiritual self. In essence, we need to reconnect back to our true purpose in life. And I believe that purpose is found within your name. That concludes what I want to come out and say in regards to that. And this time, I will turn it back over to Amon